Hi, I am Dr. Linguistico. I'm here to teach you how to work with interpreters in the medical setting. In this training, we will cover key vocabulary terms, the do's and don'ts of working with interpreters, and end with some role-playing scenarios. Let's walk through some basic vocabulary terms. Interpretation is the process of converting spoken, signed words from one language into another, ensuring the meaning and intent of the original message are accurately conveyed. Translation is the process of converting a written or spoken text from one language into another, while maintaining the original meaning and intent. The terms translation and interpretation should not be used interchangeably. Translation is written communication, and interpretation is verbal or signed communication. If clinical staff needs someone to facilitate a live conversation with a patient who speaks a language other than English during their appointment, an interpreter is needed. If a patient needs an intake form in their preferred language, a translator is needed to create that form. Interpreter. An interpreter is a trained individual who facilitates spoken or signed language between two different languages, typically in real time to facilitate communication. Translator. A translator is a trained individual who converts written or spoken content from one language to another. Interpreters and translators are professionals who have developed specific skills to be able to accurately perform interpretation and translation services. It should not be assumed that a bilingual individual is equipped with these skills. There are multiple fields for interpretation and translation, such as legal, medical, and community. Field training and/or certification may be necessary to be able to accurately serve those in need. Simultaneous interpretation. Simultaneous interpretation is the process of facilitating a spoken or signed message into another language while the speaker is still speaking or signing, ensuring a seamless flow of communication for all participants. This form of interpretation is great for presentations, conferences, and courtroom proceedings. Consecutive interpretation. Consecutive interpretation is where the interpreter listens to a speaker and then interprets the speaker's message in the target language after the speaker pauses. This form of interpretation is what is used in the clinical setting and will be used in our role-playing scenarios. Working with interpreters ensures that every patient who has a preferred language that is not English is able to receive and access the information and care that they need to have healthy lives. Working with an interpreter may make us feel a little uncomfortable if we haven't had that experience before, and that is okay. Keep in mind that the interpreter will interpret in the first person unless clarification is needed. Understand that the job of the interpreter is to interpret everything that is said in the room during the appointment, whether that is from the doctor or the patient. Even if you are just thinking out loud, the interpreter will interpret this to the patient. Let's talk about the do's and don'ts of working with interpreters. Do. Do allow the interpreter to introduce themselves. Do remember to pace, take pauses every few sentences, speak clearly, and do not rush when speaking. Do avoid using idioms and slang. These do not always translate or interpret well. Use plain language, simple terms, and avoid jargon when possible. Do speak directly to the patient receiving care, not the interpreter, during the conversation. The interpreter is a conduit and does not take part in the conversation. Do remember that the interpreters are professionals. They are helpful, but aren't helpers. Their role in care is to help bridge communication gaps between patients, families, and health providers. Do understand that interpreters are there to provide a service and not to take sides or advocate for others. This may be demonstrated by the physical position that the interpreter takes in the room. The goal is to be as neutral as possible. Do. When multiple people are present, each speaks one at a time, allowing space for the interpretation to occur. Don't. Don't rush when speaking. Use run-on sentences and omit pauses. Don't use jargon or expressions your patient may not understand. Don't speak to the interpreter instead of the person receiving care during the conversation. Don't use children to serve as interpreters. Don't Ask interpreters to express their personal opinion while performing interpreting services. Don't allow multiple people to speak at a time. Now that we know some key do's and don'ts with working with interpreters, let's get into some real-life scenarios. We are going to demonstrate 2 common scenarios that show what not to do, and 1 scenario that shows what to do. There will be some questions at the end of each scenario to see what you retain. We hope you are ready. Good afternoon. My name is Dr. Linguistico. I have an interpreter with me. His name is Ivan.
Buenas tardes, yo soy el doctor
It
Linguistico.
looks like you are here because we need to do some testing. You called the front office desk and you described a lot of pain in your lower back.
Parece que estamos aquí
The root
porque
of this pain could be a lot of things. Could be due to strained muscles. Do you happen to lift weights? Do you work a job where you have to lift a lot?
Buenas
It
tardes.
could also be the way you slept, perhaps your kidneys, or even your diet. After I ask you some more questions, we can see what tests we need to order.
Buenas tardes, yo soy el doctor Linguístico. Tengo conmigo un intérprete, se llama Iván. Parece que está aquí porque necesita algunos análisis de laboratorio.
What is the don't that the doctor demonstrated in this scenario? A, he asked the interpreter his personal opinion during the appointment. B, he did not take a pause, pace himself, and have run-on sentences. C, he talked to the interpreter instead of the patient during the appointment. The answer is B. The doctor didn't pause between sentences or pace himself. He went from introducing himself to the reason why the patient was there, asked some questions, and then didn't allow the interpreter or patient to respond before he talked again. It's important to take breaks so that all of the information is able to be conveyed to the patient. The idea is that interaction has a natural flow in conversation. Be aware that in this type of scenario, the interpreter might politely interrupt you to ask you to slow down, allow pauses, or to ask for repetition to be able to interpret everything accurately. Good afternoon. My name is Dr. Linguistico. I have an interpreter with me. His name is Ivan.
Buenas tardes, yo soy el doctor Linguístico. Tengo un intérprete conmigo, él se llama Iván.
Mucho gusto.
Nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you too.
Un placer conocerla.
It looks like you are here because we need to do some testing. You called the front office desk and you described a lot of pain in your lower back.
Parece que está aquí porque necesitamos hacerle algunos análisis de laboratorio. Parece que le habló a la recepción y estaba teniendo bastante dolor en la parte inferior de la espalda.
Now, the root of this pain could be a lot of things. Do you have a job where you do a lot of heavy lifting?
La raíz de este dolor puede ser varios problemas o varias cosas. ¿Tiene usted un trabajo donde carga mucho peso?
No, normalmente trabajo frente a una computadora la mayor parte del día. No levanto más de 10 a 15 libras.
No, I actually work in front of the computer most of the days. I don't lift more than 10 to 15 pounds daily.
I'm going to order some blood tests. The nurse will come get you shortly, draw some blood, and then we will call you with the results and we'll have an interpreter on the line with us.
Ok, entonces le voy a pedir algunos análisis de laboratorio. Ahorita pronto entrará la enfermera para venir por usted. Ya cuando nosotros tengamos los resultados, se lo comunicaremos por una llamada telefónica con un intérprete.
All right. Thank you for your time and have a great day.
Muchas gracias por su tiempo y que tenga un buen día.
Fue un placer. Gracias.
You as well. Thank you.
What is the don't that the doctor demonstrated in this scenario? A, he asked the interpreter his personal opinion during the appointment. B, he did not take a pause, pace himself, and had run-on sentences. C, he talked to the interpreter instead of the patient during the appointment. The answer is C. The doctor looked at the interpreter while speaking instead of the patient. It's important to look at the patient as they are the person who you are having the conversation with. The interpreter acts as a bridge between the patient, and the doctor shouldn't have the care be shifted to them in place of the patient. Good afternoon. My name is Dr. Linguistico. I have an interpreter here with me. His name is Ivan.
Buenas tardes, yo soy el doctor Linguístico. Tengo un intérprete aquí conmigo. Él se llama Iván.
Mucho gusto de conocerlo.
Nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you too.
Gusto en conocerla también.
Okay, it looks like you are here because we need to do some testing. When you scheduled the appointment, you described extreme pain in your lower back. The root of this pain could be a variety of things.
Parece que está aquí porque necesitamos hacerle algunas evaluaciones. Cuando usted programó esa cita, mencionó que tenía bastante dolor en la parte inferior de la espalda. La raíz de esto podría ser varias cosas.
Okay, now can you tell me about your work? Do you happen to work at a job that requires a lot of heavy lifting?
¿Puede platicarme sobre su trabajo? ¿Usted trabaja en un lugar donde carga mucho peso?
No, trabajo frente a una computadora la mayor parte del día. Normalmente no levanto más de 10 a 15 libras.
No, I work in front of a computer screen for most of the day. Normally, I don't lift more than 10 to 15 pounds.
Can you tell me about your diet and exercise habits? Do you go to the gym and lift weights? What do you eat during the week?
¿Me puede platicar un poquito sobre sus hábitos de alimentación y del ejercicio? ¿Usted va al gimnasio? ¿Qué es lo que usted come durante la semana?
Durante la semana suelo salir a caminar 2 veces por semana y voy al gimnasio solo una vez. Camino en la caminadora y uso la bicicleta estática. Mi dieta no es perfecta, pero intento comer mis porciones de verdura y carne a la semana. Lo dulce es mi favorito.
During the week, I go out to walk twice, and then I go to the gym about once a week. At the gym, I normally use a treadmill or an exercise bike. My diet isn't perfect, but I do try to eat my portion of vegetables and meats. Sweet foods are my favorite.
Okay, I'm going to order some blood tests. The nurse will be in shortly. She'll come get you, draw some blood. And when the results come in, we will give you a call with an interpreter on the line with us.
Voy a pedir algunos análisis de laboratorio. Ahorita pronto vendrá una enfermera por usted. Ya cuando nosotros tengamos esos resultados, le llamaremos por llamada telefónica con un intérprete en la línea.
Okay, well, you have a great day.
Usted que tenga un buen día.
Igualmente, muchas gracias.
Likewise, thank you.
What are the do's that the doctor demonstrated in this scenario? A, he didn't ask the interpreter his personal opinion during the appointment. B, he paused, paced himself, and had no run-on sentences. C, he talked to the patient and maintained eye contact during the appointment. The answer is A, B, and C. The doctor made sure to talk directly to the patient during the appointment. He waited for the interpreter to ensure that the appointment had a natural conversational flow. He made sure to ask the patient about what they had been experiencing, and he didn't ask the interpreter their opinion during the appointment. Remember, the goal is to provide the patient with equal access to healthcare services. Collaboration between interpreters and providers is the key to providing the best experience for everyone, regardless of preferred language and cultural background. Now that you understand the basics of working with an interpreter, try implementing these techniques the next time an interpreter is present.